Hello, Rishi, can you hear me?
Yes, yes, I'm sharing my screen. Just 1 second.
Okay. Meanwhile, so yes, can you share me your email ID, please? I'll just forward you those details. You can download the files and install. But password, I think I need to check regarding the password. I'll anyways share those details. Yeah.
Is it visible right now, sir?
Yes, it is.
So this SAP zip folders I have downloaded
Yeah.
and
Go
I
to
have extracted
first
this
one.
file. Okay.
Double click again. Okay, go to press one. Now go to GUI, Windows 32. Okay, now there you see the last file setup all.exe. Double click on that.
Hard drive on file origin. Shall I click yes?
1 second, I'm not able to see uh, what can you see on your screen?
Yeah, this message is, do you want to allow this app to make
Yes,
changes?
yes,
Yes.
yes.
Okay. So next,
Next, yeah.
so which options need to select?
You select all. There is a option there below. You see, select all option, deselect all. Yeah,
Okay.
that one. Next, next. Okay, it will take some time. Meanwhile, let me log in into the server. Yeah. And so yes, I have sent you the email. Maybe you can download the installation files and or you can refer to this video because anyhow I have started the recording. You can refer to this recording and you can. Okay. It is in the background, Alim. Just give some time because
Okay.
here, yeah, because Rishikesh, I think from your end the background noise is there. No problem. You can keep yourself on mute.
Okay.
Whenever you need to speak, you can speak to me. No problem.
Okay.
Okay, how many we have today? 5 people are there. Vinayak, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Good evening, sir.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
got the server details, Vinayak?
Sir, I requested to Mr. Shubhendu, and he said that he will forward that to my mail.
Okay, good. Right.
Sir, where can we download this all the files? You have sent to any email ID this all files
It
for
will be
install.
sent to your email ID, not these files. A link will be shared with you,
Uh-huh.
Google Drive link. Yeah. From
Okay.
that Google Drive link, you can download one, what you call that, compressed file.
Okay. Zip files.
Yeah, then you need to unzip and then install. You can refer to this video.
Okay.
Anyways, there will be a file. After you unzip, there will be a folder. You have to go into that folder and follow the instructions as I have told in this recording.
Okay. Okay.
Sir, excuse me, sir. This
Alim.
is Alim.
Lim,
Sir,
yes.
just now I joined the meeting, sir. Sir,
Hmm.
which for what we have to install, sir, for server access?
Yeah, for server access, Lim.
I got it, sir. I got it already.
Have you installed?
Which one, sir?
See, you got the email from Pallavi or some. Who is your
Sana madam.
training coordinator? Sana.
Vintage Solutions, sir.
Yes, Sana. You got the email from her?
Yes, user ID, that password I got set for server access.
Okay, but how about the installation link? Did you get the installation link?
The backend ma'am installed, sir. She had taken the access. She installed
Hmm.
everything in my laptop.
Okay, in that case, you can directly use those credentials and you can log in. No
Yes,
problem.
sir. I got the ID. I got the password. Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
good,
Yes.
good.
So one request.
Hmm.
See this whatever the sharing point, can we club in one particular mail with keeping carbon copy like that, so that each and every participant also can get that mails. Any
See,
study?
actually, there are people from different institutes here in I.
Okay. Uh-huh.
Okay, like you and Alim are from one, and Patil is taking the training directly from me, and
Okay.
Suyash is from another institute. That is why. But your training coordinator will provide you the email. No problem with that.
I mean, for whatever study material and whatever.
That I'll share all those materials to you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Mr.
Only
Nayab, I
thing
have not received the link yet.
I have forward you. Check your spam folder.
Oh,
Sir, I opened this server. I got the SAP menu like financial servicing network connector, office, cross application components. This one only, na, sir?
Yeah, that only. Yes.
Okay, sir. Okay, thank you, sir.
Hmm. Okay, do one thing, Rishikesh. Once this download completes, you let me know. You just have to click on finish. If you click on finish button on your desktop, there will be an icon that will come. Okay, you can double click
Okay.
on that icon and you can log in
Okay.
using the user ID and password.
Okay. Fine.
Yeah.
So I'm stop sharing my screen right now.
Yes, fine. Okay, let me share my screen. Today we are going to see the first session of your SAP EHS. Okay. And we are going to start basic data and tools. As of today, I'm going to show you some basic details about specification workbench. And I will be giving you some definitions as well. What I request you people is that you maintain a notebook, you maintain some notes. Wherever we come across any important concept, I'm going to give you the definition. Please make a note so that at the end of the course, when you want to start giving the interviews, you will be able to recall all the important points in one place. You don't have to go through because notes are very exhaustive. There are so many pages, so many notes are there, so reading each page is difficult. That is why wherever I tell you, please make a note so that it should be helpful to you, while especially while you are preparing for the interview, it will be very helpful. So take my advice and prepare some notes. Okay, so now let me log in into the server. See, Rishikesh, can you see this? You will get an
Uh,
icon like this, SAP logon. After
I'm
you,
not able to share the sorry.
hmm,
I'm not able to see your screen actually.
I'm sharing my screen.
Okay.
Uh, can everybody see? How many of you can see and how many of you cannot see my screen?
I can see your screen, sir.
I
Ali.
can see
Okay.
you, Sachin.
Okay. Then I think because of network issue, some of you will not be able to see the screen, continuously. It is because of the network issue. So just check once. If you have a good network, it should not be a problem. Okay, so you double click on the SAP logon, what you find on your desktop. and then enter the credentials. Okay, go to variable logon, click on variable logon, enter, and then enter the details of your server like 183, 183, 82, 120, 214, 17 EH7. You don't have to enter SAP router string, that is not required. You just need to enter application server number, instance number, and system ID. These three things are enough. Then directly click on logon. It will connect you to the server remotely. Okay, then you enter the credentials that they have provided. Okay, like this, user ID and password. And then you will come to this. I think this is what you told, no, Alim? This is your initial screen. I hope this is what you were saying, that I am able to see financial services network connector. Yeah. Okay. So from this demo server, first we will go to our specification workbench. So write down the first transaction code which we are going to see, CG02BD. Transaction code CG02BD. So what is this transaction code? This transaction code takes you to the specification workbench. CG02BD will take you to the specification workbench. Press enter. It's going to take you to specification workbench, and initial screen will be something like this. Okay, on the left hand side of the screen you can see there are some options here: substance, dangerous goods, agent. All these are options.
Mr. Niaz, we have to note down these transaction codes.
Yeah, you have to.
Sir, I'm not following, sir.
what is meant by these transaction codes?
Transaction code means command. Transaction code means command. Like for each activity that you want to perform on the server, you have to use one transaction code. Like for example, if you want to perform a risk assessment, okay, you want to prepare a risk assessment, there is a transaction code for that. If you want to create an incident log, accident log, there is a transaction code for that. If you want to prepare, let's say, injury illness report, there is a transaction code for that. For each activity, activity that you want to perform, there will be one separate transaction code, just like a command. Okay, normally in other languages they call it as command, but here in SAP we call it as a transaction code or T code. Transaction code or T code.
Sir, where to enter this one, sir? CG02?
Here, okay, I'll show you. See, you see this small field here on top below the workbench.
Web search.
On the left hand side on top.
Okay. Sir, what
Okay,
happened? CG02?
BD.
All small letters, sir.
Small, big, anything, no problem.
CG02.
So Mr. Niaz, these codes are worldwide accepted, and these are common, or it
Yes,
changes?
it is common. It is common.
So this code is for?
To go to specification workbench.
Sir, I'm getting error, sir.
See, do one thing. Share me your screen. See, I will do here. I will take the class. After the class, you need to practice. While I am taking the lecture, you don't have to practice. Otherwise, what happens? You cannot concentrate on what I am saying here, nor can you be able to access correctly. Okay, so share your screen. I will see once. Let's see what error you are getting. What is the error you are getting? Let me know.
Yes, sir. I will.
Yeah, there is one option called share below beside the chat button. Okay, using that, share me your screen. I think from tomorrow we'll connect on GoToMeeting. I think that is fine. On the right hand side bottom of your screen, there is chat, raise hand, react, more, all these buttons are there. Okay. There one option you have called share. That is to the left hand side of that. There is raise hand option.
Yes, sir. Raise hand
Uh,
option is.
Beside that, one more option. What option you are getting after clicking on that?
Not getting anything, sir.
Okay, what error you are getting? At least tell me that.
Yes, sir. I will type once again. I will.
CG02BD.
Peer correction lost like this.
Okay, you need to, I think, log in again. Use user ID and password, log in again.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Try once. Okay, now see here on my screen, if you can see my screen, there are three buttons: back button, exit button, and cancel button. All these three buttons are used to go back to the previous screen. Okay, right now we are in specification workbench, as you can see. Let's say I want to go back to the initial screen, to the main screen. So I can use this back button. It's going to take me back to the initial screen. Sometimes what happens if I leave this server idle without continuously using it, it is going to log out. See, I think it is going to log out because you cannot leave the server idle for quite some time. You will get this like this. Alim, did you get a message like this? Connection reset by peer.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes,
Ah,
sir.
okay. Then what you should do? Click on no. It will ask yes or no. Click on no. Okay, it will get disconnected. Again, you need to enter the details. Go to
Yes, sir. I
variable
mean.
logout. Yeah, 183.82.122.14, 17. Sorry, 17 EH7 system ID. Then click on log on, and then you need to enter the user ID and password. And then you will be back. See, again, after you log in, it will display this screen: license information for multiple logon. When you get these options, you need to select the first option, continue with this logon, and end any other logons in system. You need to select the first option, continue with this logon, and then click on continue button. Okay, that will again log you in into the server. Now, from this initial screen, you see there is a small field here. Below the menu button, below the menu, there is one small field you can see where the cursor is blinking. That is where you need to enter the transaction codes. Below the menu button, there is one field. There you need to enter the transaction codes. So what is our first transaction code? What is our first transaction code?
CG02BD.
CG02BD.
CG0. Okay, 1 second. CG02BD. Right. Now press enter. When you press enter, the system control is going to take you to the specification workbench. Okay, I hope now you know how you can come to this specification workbench. Okay, from here, this is where you can create all your specifications. I will tell you what is a specification, what are these options you find here, like substance, dangerous goods, what are these options, okay, and what are the small buttons you can see on the upper side of the screen, like here you find change key, date, previous object, what are these options, and below also you can see there is a hat, that is your header data. and there are some other options also below. Okay, I will first tell you what are these different screen areas, and then I'm going to give you some definitions related to the objects that are there in this specification workbench. And I will also tell you why we use this specification workbench. What is the use? All that we'll see. But first, let me start with describing you what are the different screen areas. Now, this is your entire screen. As you can see, this is your specification workbench. Again, this entire screen has been divided into particular different into different screen areas. Okay. So these buttons, what you see here, change key date, arrow marks, you can see previous object, next object, and also below you can see header data, a refresh property tree, these buttons, find, copy, paste. These options are known as
Mr. Niyaz,
standard toolbar.
whose screen is being shared?
My screen.
Sir, mine's
Because this.
my screen, sir.
Oh. Okay, no problem, Alim. Alim, I'll share my screen. It will go automatically. I thought I am actually sharing. I was sharing my screen. I think he selected that option. That is why you were able to see his. Okay. Now can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, right. So this is your specification workbench. This entire screen is your specification workbench, which has been divided into different sections. So what are those sections? You see on the left hand side of the screen, upper area, where you have key dates, you have back arrow keys, previous object, next object, expand, collapse, and these buttons. Plus below also you have some buttons here like header data is there, refresh property tree is there, select all, deselect all, copy value assignment, paste value assignment. These buttons are there, no, above and below. These are known as toolbar area. This is a standard toolbar. Okay, this is a standard toolbar. Both above as well as the below options are called as standard toolbar. And the area between them, the area between these standard toolbars is known as navigation area, where you have substance, dangerous goods, agent, like that, up to favorites. This area is known as a navigation area. And again on the left hand side itself, if you go down to the bottom of the screen on the left hand side, this area is known as a detailed structure area. Detailed structure area, where you want to, if you want to see a particular specification details, it will be displayed here under detailed structure area. That is why they have given that name, detailed structure area. If you want to see any specification structure, that can be displayed here under the detailed structure area. Now on the right hand side of the screen, see currently nothing is there. It is completely gray in color. Nothing is there, right? On the right hand side. This area is known as application area. The right hand side of the screen is known as the application area. So you have standard toolbars above and below. The area between the standard toolbar is your navigation area. And below your standard toolbars, you have detailed structure area. And on the right hand side of the screen, this entire screen is known as your application area. Okay, this is how the specification workbench has been divided into different screen areas. This is the first thing that you need to understand. Okay, now what I'll do is I'll double click on substance. You see, this substance is there now. This is known as a specification category. Substance is a specification category, dangerous goods classification is a specification category, agent, waste code, packaging, up to packaging. These are your different specification categories. I will tell you each definition, don't worry. For now, I'm going to double click on substance. And then on the right hand side, which is currently completely blank, that will be replaced by an initial screen. I think because I was explaining to you and we were not using the server, this is a common thing, okay? Get used to it. It will get disconnected if you just leave the server idle for some time. Okay, so I'll double click on substance category. Then on the right hand side, you can see that now this is replaced by a initial screen. So initial screen is actually used to search for any specification. If you want to search for any specification, if you want to see some data, then you can use this initial screen for search and display purpose. But before that, I also have to tell you what is a specification. Then maybe we are going to see how to search for a specification and how we can display the details. All that I am going to tell you. But for now, see, when I expand on the left hand side, there is under substance, you see there are a lot of data objects. You have 784, 783, and also you have Z whole, somebody has created this 767, 769, 1682. Like that, there are a lot of data objects below. Okay. Now, what are these data objects? These are known as specifications. All this, whatever you see, right, under the substance, these are known as specifications. So now the question is, what is the meaning of specification? That you should know, that is the starting point in a specification management. What is specification? If I have to tell you, see, the definitions given by SAP, you can read it, you can by heart it, but it is difficult for you to understand anything out of that, because they use high level language which is complex and you will not be able to understand exactly what they are trying to say. So for each of these concepts, to make it easier for you, I am going to use a very simple language so that you can understand. Okay, so that is why for a specification, I can give you one example. See, what is a specification? Sometimes, you know, when you purchase any mobile phone or any gadget, or when you purchase any vehicle, you know, maybe your friends or family members or somebody will come to you and they will ask you, okay, what are the specifications of your mobile phone? What are the technical specifications? Even before you purchase any mobile phone, you are going to see all these specifications. You will search on Google, what are the specifications of Samsung Galaxy A51? Or Apple iPhone 11, what are the specifications? Like that, you want to see the detailed information about the product. Okay. So, for example, if your friends ask you what are the specifications of your mobile phone, you would answer them. The specifications of my mobile phone are, it has 128 GB memory and 12 GB RAM. It has 45 megapixel camera, and it supports dual SIM, and it supports 5G network, and it has a battery capacity of 5000 mAh, and etc etc. You will give, or even screen size, it is 7.4 inches. Like that, you will explain everything, you will describe your mobile phone. Okay, that is known as your specification. So what is specification? If I have to put it in very simple words, it is a collection of properties or characteristics of a object. Here the object is your mobile phone and you are trying to describe it, describe the properties of that mobile phone. Okay, the collection of these properties is known as your specification. Okay. Or another example. Okay, let's take another example. If I ask you, what is water? Explain to me. Or what are the specifications of water? Then you are going to tell me water is a universal solvent, water is used for domestic as well as commercial purposes, water is colorless, water is tasteless, water is odorless, water is a life-saving element. Okay, the molecular formula for water is H2O. Like that, you are going to give me whatever information you have about this object called water. Okay, so the entire information what you give me, I can put them under one object called specification. Same thing, you can take any object at all, even pen, pencil, your laptop. If I say what is specification, it is nothing but the characteristics or properties of that object. That is a specification. So here you can see is there somebody has created one specification called fast food. So if I double click on this fast food, it is going to give me what details they have maintained for this specification. This is one of the specification. Okay, so a specification is nothing but it is a collection of properties and characteristics of any object. Normally, if I have to tell you, if you want to maintain the data for a chemical, okay, let's say for some chemical like phenol or some ammonium nitrate or any other chemical, if you want to maintain the data, normally what kind of data will you maintain for chemicals?
Sir, molecular formula, its characteristics and the boiling temperature, and it is toxic or it is acidic, it is basic nature. These things, sir. Corrosive
Okay.
nature, firing point, activation point, all this, sir.
Yes, absolutely. So what you are saying is that in general, if I have to say, you will maintain the data like its physical and chemical properties. The physical and chemical properties of any chemical can be maintained. Yes, that is also correct. Apart from that, we can also maintain if that material catches fire, what kind of fire extinguisher we should use. If it accidentally goes into your eyes or if there is any kind of exposure on your skin, then what first aid measures do we have to take? Or if you want to transport that chemical, are there any regulations we have to follow? What is the kind of packaging material we have to use for that material or chemical? All this information, I can collect together for that specific chemical and I can store it in a specification. Any information, total information about any object, when I am actually creating and storing that in our SAP EHS, we call it as a specification. So all this, some users have created, Z-wool, Z-fuzzy, Z-toy, all these are user created. But here you see in the beginning, butene is there, ethylene oxide is there, xylene is there, all these are chemicals. And they have maintained some data for all these different chemicals. So this is one specification for butene. The specification number is 784. If you have collected the properties of ethylene oxide, the specification number is 783. Similarly, for xylene, they have created one specification called 767. Like that, for each chemical, for each substance, even for water also you can create. If you want to create for water, maybe you will give some other number and you can maintain the properties of water. Okay, so each of these objects here are known as specifications. So if I say specification, immediately you should think that, okay, it has the properties and characteristics of that object. That is a specification, right? So I will also give you the standard definition. Let me just log in again, or maybe you can just write down definition of a specification as per SAP. I gave you my definition in very simple language. So it is nothing but a collection of properties and characteristics of any object. That is a specification according to my definition. But SAP says that specifications are data objects. Specifications are data objects that use value assignments. Specifications are data objects that use value assignments for physical and chemical data. For physical and chemical data to define certain properties. To define certain properties. Again, this is a standard definition. If they ask you normally what they will do, they will be looking in the screen and they will ask you the question. So if you try to give your own definition also to them, they will think you are giving wrong definition, because it is not EHS people that will be taking your interview. It will be somebody, maybe like project manager or solution architect, somebody will be taking. So they will not be knowing the answer, so they'll be looking at the screen. So that is why, as far as possible, try to learn these definitions as far as possible. So specifications are data objects that use value assignments for physical and chemical data to define certain properties. That is your specification. Now, you were also looking at the screen, there were some other data also. Like for example, you saw there was substance, there was dangerous goods classification, there was agents, there was a waste code, and there was packaging. So what are those things? Let's discuss about the specification categories. Okay, so let's go back to substance. Okay, now see here on the left hand side, substance is there, dangerous goods classification, agent, waste code, packaging. These are the 5 categories. We call them as specification categories up to packaging. Your material, what they have written, this is not a specification category. So leave this out. Leave out material. Don't think about material. We have only 5 specification categories. So what does it mean? What is the meaning of a specification category? See, when you create any specification for, let's say, chemicals, what you will do, you have to first decide, okay, I am creating a specification for chemicals. So under what category should I put that? Should I put that in substance category, dangerous goods, agent? In which category should I put that specification? Because a specification category is nothing but it is a collection of specifications, or it is a group of specifications having common characteristics. So when I say substance category, it means that all the specifications that we create under substance category, they are all different types of substances, like raw material, maybe like a real substance, like a listed substance, okay, maybe diet, nutrition, like there are different substances actually we are going to create under substance category. Next, we have category called dangerous goods classification. Now, let's say, suppose I work in a company where we manufacture dangerous goods. It can be like fertilizers, it can be like a cleaning agent, or it can be like pesticides. So we manufacture that in our company. So before I actually transport those products to my customer, I have to prepare MSDS. And I should also know what regulations are applicable for these materials. Okay, and what information should I maintain for these materials, dangerous goods. So what I will do, when I want to create some properties and characteristics for a dangerous good, I will not go to substance category. Instead, I will go to dangerous goods, and here I will create a specification, because I am creating a specification for dangerous good, not for substances. Similarly, the third category we have agent. So what do you mean by agent? Any idea what is agent?
Sir, catalyst agent, bleaching agent.
Okay, but it is not like that. You are telling me about chemical agents. That is right. What you are saying is right. But apart from that also, there are some other agents. Apart from chemicals also, there are agents. What is agent? मतलब क्या है इसका agent? मतलब?
Sir, the intermediary one between input and output.
No. Maybe it is right. Maybe from the production perspective, you may be right. But here in SAP EHS, I will tell you what is the meaning. See, here agent means it is a hazard. So you can write down somewhere, agent, whenever you hear in your SAP EHS, they are actually referring to hazards. So agent in a company might be like, for example, electrical hazard will be there, mechanical hazard. Again, like just like you told, chemicals, different chemicals, they are also hazardous, right? So we can call them also as a agent. Biological hazards, microorganisms, virus, bacteria, wherever you find, even they are called as agents. Noise is an agent, heavy noise, or high temperatures, wherever you are working, if there is a high level of temperature, that is also an agent. So an agent, basically, if I have to simply tell in a one word, it is nothing but hazard. Okay. So any hazard will also have a characteristic. For example, noise, that will have some properties. That will also have some values. We have to maintain the values. We have to continuously monitor whether that noise is more or less. Okay. Are we able to control it by implementing certain safety measures? So we have to maintain the data, in our agent category. When we want to create any data, when we want to create properties and characteristics for any hazard, we have to create under agent. Similarly, you have waste code. So as the name itself is suggesting, in your company, if you are generating hazardous waste, you have to create a specification under waste code. You cannot go to substance category and create the data related to waste. No, they have given you a separate category. You can create it in that. This waste code is nothing but the specifications which are related to the waste you are generating in the company. And finally, you have packaging. Packaging is nothing but if you are using any kind of packaging material for your product, what kind of packaging material is that? What are the properties of that packaging material? Okay, what is the thickness of that packaging material? Is it plastic based, or is it a steel container, or any plastic, or a glass bottle? There are different types of packaging. So if you want to maintain the data properties of those packaging materials, you can create a specification under packaging. Okay, so these are the 5 categories. You have substance, dangerous goods classification, agent, waste code, and packaging. Now, can we create our own specification category? Like, for example, I want to create a 6th one. I want to give some other name. Is it possible? No, it is not possible, because SAP have provided us 5 categories and we have to only use these 5 categories. We cannot modify their name, we cannot delete them, and we cannot create a new specification category. It is not possible. Whatever specifications you are creating, they will come under one of these categories. No need to create a new specification category. Now, if you did you understand what is a specification category, or do you want me to give another example to explain to you this?
Understood, sir.
So, Mr. Niaz, if there is an introduction of any new specification category, so that will be done by SAP
Yeah, it will be done by
itself.
SAP. Yeah.
Okay. So now, as they have created this material,
Hmm.
so why is it of no use?
Which one?
The
No,
last one,
material, I
material.
will tell you. See, material is nothing but if you want to search any material from the material management module, you can use this material option. This is only used to search for a particular material. It is not a specification. It is not a part of specification. Like if I double click on material, I can only search a particular material. Okay, let's say for example, I want to see all the materials in plant 1100 as an example. Okay, so all these are materials in plant 1100. So let's say I want to see some details about this acetic anhydride material. This is a material, not a specification. So I select this, continue, and I will get this information here. If I double click, I can see what material this is, what data they have maintained for this material, all that information I can see. Okay, this is not our EHS data. This is actually the data that is created under material management. where procurement process happens, or if they want to purchase any raw material, or if they want to create any new material in the system, that is done in module. Okay, so you can access the information related to any material by using this material option, but it has nothing to do with a specification. Okay, so we have 5 categories and we have to use these 5 categories for our specifications.
Okay, and whatever is under substance, we call it data objects.
Yeah, all these are data objects only. Substance, dangerous goods, classification, agent. Under the substance category, what you find, they are specifications again. They are known as specifications. Now, for example, see under the substance, if I go and press enter without mentioning anything, it will give me a list of all the specifications under specification category. See here, there are 2800 odd specifications under your substance category. So if you go to hit list, it will give you the entire list of all the specifications. Okay, all these specifications belong to substance category. Okay, now from among this, if you want to select any specification, like for example, this real substance, if you double click, the data related to that one specification will be displayed here. Can you see on the left hand side under the detail structure area? Like this, you can display the data. Okay. So under that category, you will find all the specifications which they have created under substance category. Similarly, if you go to agents, you will find all the agents that are created under that category. So if I have to tell you what is a specification category, it is nothing but a collection or a group of specifications which have some common characteristics. That is again my definition to make you understand. But if you see the standard definition, maybe you can write down specification category definition. A general grouping of specifications based on their use and significance in companies. A general grouping of specifications based on their use and significance in companies. Yeah, like I told you, there are 5 categories: substance, agent, packaging, waste code, dangerous goods, classification. And you can use any of these categories for creating a specification.
So under this specification category, the source of input as a data will be fetched up from the material management module?
No. It will not be, yeah, some details will be required. Like for example, if you want to assign the specification for with this material butane, see, this is only what this specification contains, only the MSDS related information, or EHS related data will be there in the specification. But what if I want to know how do you measure this butane, whether it's a raw material or a product, or how do you package it? If I want to see those details, or how much purchasing we have done for this butane, at what price are we selling this butane? If I want to find that information, where should I go?
Okay.
I will be then accessing your material information. In that, they will maintain all the details.
Okay.
Right. So that is all.
Details in material is not managed by SAP EHS.
Not EHS. Yeah, it is not managed by EHS. It is managed by module consultants or by the procurement team, I can say.
Right.
Okay, so that is the difference. Fine. So here I told you the definition of specification category. It is nothing but a group of specifications having common characteristics. That is a category. Now that is not all. Okay, if I have to give you one real example, let's say for example, after you completed 12th, now you had to go for a professional course. Okay, you written the entrance exam, you got very good ranking. Now you have the options before you. Either go for engineering, take up medical sciences, or go for commerce. You have all these options before you. Okay, so consider this medical sciences or engineering or commerce as your specification category. Okay, you have these options before you. If you want, you can take up any of these professional courses. So your medical science is substance category, your engineering is a dangerous goods classification category, your commerce is a agent category, like that. Okay, and whatever you study under that, whatever the subjects you study under them, they will all be related to each other. They will be common. Now for example, under medical science, what do you find? There is ayurvedic, there is homeopathy, there is mbbs, there is dental science, like that. So many branches are there, right? But all of them are related with your medical science. Similarly, if you go to engineering, you have umpteen number of engineering streams, 12 or maybe 15 are there. Okay. So, but they are all related to your engineering. You cannot mix up. You cannot put Ayurvedic medicine in engineering stream, nor can you take up information technology and put it into medical science. It is not possible. They are different groups, different categories, and the data under them will also be different. Okay, that is your specification category. Now, like I said, you cannot edit them, you cannot delete them, you cannot create a new specification category. So you also need to understand that. Okay. Now, by using this initial screen, let's say if I want to search any specification under substance category. Okay, how do we search that? To search any data, we will use this initial screen. If you know the name of the specification, well and good, you can enter the name of that specification, you can display that specification. But what if you don't know? Maybe you don't remember the name of the specification. So that is why there are other alternate ways by which you can search for a specification and you can see what data has been maintained under that. So we are going to see how to search a particular specification and what are the different ways of doing that. Let me log in. Give me a minute. Okay, I'll double click on substance. When I double click on substance, I'll get this initial screen. Okay, now if I want to search any particular specification, let's say for example, I want to search a specification called acetone. So I will enter the name of that specification, acetone. And if I press enter, the system is going to display me the result, just like searching in Google. Okay, you press enter, then the system will show me the details of that specification. Okay, this is your search result. Now, how do you see the data which they have maintained under here? You can double click on this acetone, and on the left hand side below in the detail structure area, you can see this is the structure of a specification. This is the structure. So under material safety data sheet, the data what they have maintained is all belonging to this chemical acetone. So possible hazards are related to acetone, firefighting measures are related to acetone, first aid measures that you need to follow are again associated with acetone. It is not that all the chemicals will be having same kind of properties or characteristics. They will be different depending on the chemical. They may vary a lot. Okay, so for each material or for each chemical, you need to maintain this data manually. You have to double click on that particular specification. You have to go to this section where they maintain the data. For example, let me show you. If you want to see what are the possible hazards of this acetone, as an example, you can go to this possible hazards, double click on possible hazards. So what happens? The data maintained under possible hazards will be displayed on the right hand side of the screen. You see here, advise physical chemical hazards, inhalation hazards, skin related, eye related hazards, ingestion. What happens if you accidentally eat this chemical? So this data they have maintained, and whatever the data you find here, like here, for example, may cause fire, possible risk of impaired fertility. These are the advisors, or this is the data applicable to acetone. Maybe for some other chemical, other advisors you need to add or other type of data you need to maintain. But for acetone, these are the applicable data. And who has created this data? Who has assigned these values? It is the end user of a company. Whoever is using SAP EHS module, they, for example, let's say Tata Chemicals. If Tata Chemicals are using SAP EHS module in their organization, they will be creating this data. Okay, let's say they manufacture acetone as an example. Okay, they manufacture acetone. So it is their responsibility that they have to maintain all this data related to that chemical. And why they have to maintain the data? Because once they start selling the product in the market, they should also provide the MSDS to the customers. So how are you going to create the MSDS? It is using this specification. So ultimately, if you ask me, sir, why do we have to create a specification? What is the use? I'm not able to understand that. In a very common thing, if I have to tell you, to generate reports. To generate MSDS reports or to generate SOP or to generate any kind of reports, you can generate from this specification. Okay, so if the property tree name is material safety data sheet, I can generate MSDS from this property tree or from this specification. If there is any other property tree, other types of reports can also be generated. Okay, so my purpose of creating specification is because first I want to maintain all the information about the chemicals. Second, whenever I need, I can generate MSDS reports. That is why I am creating all this specification data. Okay, so currently we are in display mode. Now, for example, see here under possible hazards, you see this. Okay, I'll come back to this later. I was actually telling you how to search a specification, right? So I'll come back to this later. I will tell you in detail. But for now, let me show you what are the other forms, other ways by which you can search. This is one way. If you know the name, well and good. What if you don't know? What if you just know the starting letter of a specification? Okay, again, if I want to search acetone, but when I am using these letters ACETONE, this is the correct spelling actually for acetone. If you search by this, it will say, okay, there is one material also created by that name. Okay, no problem. Let's say I want to search for a specification, but I don't know the name of that specification. I don't remember it. So in such a case, if I know even the starting letter, I can search by that letter. For example, A, and remaining part I don't know what is the other letters that I need to add. So just add A and then put an asterisk mark and then press enter. In this way, what the system will do, the system is going to search all the specifications that start with letter A followed by any other letter or number. It doesn't matter. Like this also you can search. Any letter you know, you can just put that letter first, add an asterisk mark and search. Then the system is going to display you the result. Or if you know 2 letters, 3 starting letters, fine, that is okay. You can put and you can search. Yeah, like this you can actually search for your specifications. This is one method. What if you don't know anything? Then you can simply press enter without entering any data here. Under specification, it will display all the specifications. Start search. If you click on yes, then it will show all the specifications like this. Now you can go through the list, and whichever you want to display the result, you can double click on that and you can see the details. Right? So this is the way by which you can search for a specification. This is one way. using the specification names, or you can use other selection criteria also. Like there is something called identifier. Using the identifiers also you can search. I will come back to this later. When I explain to you about structure of a specification, then I will tell you about the identifiers. For now, don't worry about these identifiers. Just remember how to search a specification using the name or number here. There is one more way. Again, the specification category, this is not the end. This is not the end. Again, the specification category has been divided into a number of specification types. Or I can say that the substance category has many subcategories or subdivisions. And we call those subdivisions as specification type. Why? Because when I say substance, it is a very generic term. I cannot understand what is a substance very clearly. Okay, I need to explain it in a more elaborate way, or in a way that you people are able to understand. So this substance category has been again subdivided into a number of subdivisions, and we call them as specification type. Some examples are real substance, pure substance, listed substance, raw material specification, etc. etc. Diet, nutrient, there are many others are there. These are known as specification types. Let me show you all this: allergen, basic material, and diet, exposure scenario, listed substance, nutrient, pure substance. All these are known as your specification type. What is a specification type? It is a subdivision of your substance. Okay, I will give you one more very simple example so that you understand. I gave you the example of professional courses. I told you MBBS, medical science is there, engineering stream is there, and you have commerce, etc. Right? Now, what happens if somebody asks you, let's say if you are studying engineering, they will ask you, what are you studying? You will tell you are studying engineering. Okay? But they will not stop there. They will say, what kind of engineering? Which engineering are you studying? Then you have to say chemical engineering or computer science or electronics, whichever is your specialization, you have to tell that, right? Similarly, here when I say substance, you may not be able to understand. You may not be able to understand because it's a very general word, just like engineering. But when I say again subdivide that substance, and I can call it as a listed substance, pure substance, real substance, like that different substances are there. I can again tell you the different varieties of substances. That is known as a specification type. Okay. Now here what you can do, if you want to search any particular specifications belonging to a particular type, then you can add like this. For example, real substances, if you want to see, add that specification type, press enter. You can go to the hit list. If you click on hit list is nothing but search list. Whatever you are searching, that result where you get, that is known as a hit list. So there are 565 real substances. See, that is why here the common thing is real substance. But under this specification type, so many specifications are there. 17, 168, 319. All these are different real substances or specifications. Like that also you can search. Okay. So what is a specification type? It is nothing but a subdivision of specification category.
So, Mr. Niaz, who creates these specification types and all?
Specification types, some of them are given by SAP, just like your specification category. These specification types are also given by SAP. Okay, some of them. But we don't have any limitation here, Suyash. If you want to create a new specification type, you can very well go ahead and create a new specification type. It is possible. Okay, if you want to modify, if you want to delete any specification type, even that is possible. So you don't have a limitation where, just like your categories, it is possible that you can create a new specification type. Let's say you want to create a chemical substance as one of the specification types. Yes, you can create it. Or if you want to create any other specification type, you can create it, no problem. If you want to call it, let's say, explosive substance as a specification type, okay, you can create that, no problem. We can create our own specification types, but we cannot create these categories. Some of them are provided by SAP as a standard. Apart from that, if you want to create your own specification types, that is also possible. You can create. How to create?
And how, yeah.
Yeah,
And how
that
we
is your.
know then how we know that the specification types that are pre-designed by SAP,
Hmm.
like what that category contains? How do we know? Like one category is real substance.
Hmm.
So how we know how many categories or how many specification types are there?
You can see here, no? You can see the list. See all this list. These are your specification types. Now, if you want to segregate the specification types given by SAP and specification types created by the user, there is one way by which you can find out. And what is that? You see here, if I go down, there are some specification types created with the starting letter Y, like here YChem underscore spec, or you can see here ZChem underscore 001 or ZChem underscore safe. Any specification type that you find starting with Y or Z as the first letter, you can safely assume it is created by the user. The reason is SAP allows you to create any specification type only by using the first letter Y or Z. Okay, all the other letters starting from A up to X are reserved for SAP, especially when you want to create a specification type. That is why now if you want to create a new specification type, you should use the first letter. For example, I told you explosive, no, explosive substance. So how do you create that? Put it as Z explosive underscore sub. That is your specification type. Or if you want to create chemical, put Z chem underscore sub. That is a chemical substance. Like that, you can use either Y or Z as the first letter while you are creating specification type.
And like the ones that have been created by the SAP, they are
Hmm.
common worldwide. But
Yeah,
what
they are
I will
common.
create,
Hmm.
yeah, what I will create will remain to my system or my company.
Yes, yes, yes. That is your customized data.
So from A to X, that is the specification, that is the standard one from SAP, right? SAP.
Which one?
Uh,
Yeah.
and Y and Z is the customized, which can be edited or modified by end user.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Okay, understood. Why? Because
So,
they want to use these letters for themselves. Yeah.
so Y and Z data can be accessible by other users also.
Which one?
So these specification categories created under Y and Z.
Hmm.
Is it accessible to other users also? Means other companies which are using
No,
that
no, no,
SAP?
no, no. That will be only for your company. Because wherever your data is getting saved, no, in your server or in your what I can say, cloud. Sometimes they even use cloud for storing the data. Or the server racks may be there on your company premises. So that data is only locally available to your company. Even in your company, if you want to provide the access only for particular users, you can again restrict the data. Okay, so because data security is very high, no? You cannot allow your personal company data to be floating around the world. So that is why the data that you create as per your requirement, that is only available to you. Even here, see, even in real substance, whatever data you create, that is only available to you, not for other people. Okay, because real sub is a specification type. Okay, agreed. But with other companies, it is not connected. this software will be only accessible to you, your company. If any other company is using SAP HS, whatever data they create, only they can access. You cannot access the data. So for individual company, there will be individual database available. For your company, separate database, for another company, separate database, like that, they will give you the database where you can store all your information. Okay, got it?
Yes.
Okay. So this is your specification type. You can note down maybe because they have given standard definition also for this. Specification types are used to subdivide specification categories. Very simple. Specification types are used to subdivide specification categories. So what are they? What are the different specification types we have? We'll discuss this. Also, I need to share other definitions with you. We'll continue this in tomorrow's session. Okay. And meanwhile, also please download the software and install the files so that you can practice. Those who have already done, you can log in and just have a look at these specifications. Try to search a particular specification, display the specifications. Just try to access this data.
Sir, in the specification type, that is only alphabetic or alphanumeric?
It could even be alphanumeric, no problem. You can create even like that. Okay. But SAP have not used alphanumeric, they have only used alphabetic.
Okay.
Okay, fine guys, then I'll stop here. I have given you a few definitions. If possible, just go through the server ones. Make yourself familiar. Meanwhile, we'll continue this specification management tomorrow with other definitions.
Right. Thank you, Mr. Nyas.
Okay,
Thank you.
you're most welcome.
Sir,
Take care all of you. Yeah, Raghavendra.
sir, this is Alim, sir.
Alim, tell me, Alim.
Sir, I want to sorry to the class because I had shared the screen that was accidental done.
Okay, no problem here. See, don't be so formal.
Okay, sir.
It happens because whenever you are using any application app for the first time, it happens. Don't bother about that.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Chalo, no problem.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Yeah, welcome. Take care. See you tomorrow, same time.
Bye bye.
Bye.